nice intimate space. It should be fun. I haven't done a reading like this small for a very long time, so this will be nice. No microphone, I guess, required, so that's also
Someone's
really nice.
phone is ringing.
What was that?
Right here.
I thought that was music. I thought that was music for the background. I'll be honest.
I thought they were transferring outside.
Yeah.
Oh, actual wind chant.
Oh, there we go.
Now we found it. So
So it's still going? No, it's still going.
weird, right?
Way to draw attention. Okay.
That worked.
I feel serene.
Yeah. That was nice. That's nice. We're serene. Okay. So I didn't really prepare what I was going to read, so Candy, if I go over 10 minutes, just kind of stop me, because I didn't time anything.
You want me to put my timer?
Somebody wants to put a timer. So Braided Skin is a book of poetry, prose, a mix of a lot of things. And I mean, some of them are erasures where I take an already prepared text and I take a Sharpie and I just start blacking things out. So actually, 2 poems in this book are beer erasures. So I went to St. Augustine's on Commercial Drive and I stole their menu and I started blacking things out. So I might start with one of those poems, if I can find them. So this is one of the beer erasures. The home team advantage. Pale space dust, bitter and dry. West Coast love is easy. It is undoubtedly the West's choice, inspired by the rich tradition of the exotic. That means Columbus, Chinook, and Cascade. This West Coast style, a sumo grandmaster, bring balance. Vancouver East Side, bitter and brilliant. At the end of the boil, a gentle drift. Victoria, BC, 7% intense and restrained, 5.3% character, a result of the addition of 11 pounds of fresh, deep, brown, black body, flaked raw. Is it elusive? Is it soft on the tongue? Very complex, the use of texture, body, gypsy tears, and a burst of green. In the green room, eyes on me, long stare up and down, longer stare, stuck in this frustrating and degrading conversation, you who won't be happy with the answer I give because your perception of blackness is completely distorted. Assumptions come to the table already orally armed, defend my skin tone, hair color, hair length, and hair texture. Isn't this one of the most multicultural, mixed, biracial baby breeding cities in the world? And no, you cannot touch my hair. Tangled, caught between nails of acrylic tips, rows of fishtails intertwine, a maintained fusion. Cut, dead ends, then weave these tracks back like braids and plates. She oils and slicks sides, pats down, then poofs up. Make up your mind. One drop rule bleeds into the blue-eyed illusion of good hair. Stressed to overprocess these tips, these roots, these plates, these locks. She dreads. Enter, stage left, and find the mic. Sing sweet, these brown skin confessions. Brown skin, black skin, caramel dipped skin, leathery sun-burnt skin, ceases to remember skin like the war-torn country skin. She breathed skin, found 14 feathers in a notebook imprinted on creased pages, faded cover led to an ellipsis, watched eyes burn holes through layers of skin yet. Never happy with these answers of ethnicity. Let's gather confessions of ebony-boned princesses. Let's steal stories of brown skin contest us and drown memories of her one tone. Let me pick a side, skin. Braided skin. Let me taste the Ugandan skyline where my father first opened his eyes. Kampala, Let me touch the deep southern roots of my mother, where she first opened her eyes, El Paso. Sun hits angled glass, spitting confusion into dark eyes, mean eyes, tired eyes, eyes of different cities. My skin holds shades that change when the weather is good. Skin that carries stories of missing middles. Skin that asks questions, questions that never get answered. No one told me about his journey of fear-soaked bodies. No one told me where I first opened my eyes. No one kept pictures of sugary days spent melting hot, dripping cones of summer. Where did my heart learn to wrap cloth? Where did my hands learn to paint skin with ink? I taught myself how to dance on carpets of pond lilies, how to slip into dresses with braided sleeves, how to braid thick hair, how to braid thick damp hair, and how to unbraid hair. They say I am aftershocks, I am pieces left behind, I am tucked under sleeves, hidden between skin folds and under fingernails. I rest between loose feathers of outlet jackets, existing only on warm lips, cold days, and visible breath. I whisper, I haven't learned to smile yet. If bugs could talk. Every year we send stories, share them, remember, visit, flip the details, find love on the number 3 bus. For the first time, I sit in the fold accordion-like, available. 3 stops to talk, exchange courage. I chase days, bend sound, plan on running from Germany, from the prairies, and fall deep. Home remedies. My wings are dull knives, slicing skylines, swallowing air, falling down onto chipped doorsteps. She's waiting, cold concrete. We discuss things we've tried, things we've done. Remember the wet leaves I scooped from mesh bags and rubbed in severed wings? Internet advisory. She's stubborn. She wedges lemons between yellow teeth to kill foul breath, sour lies, squint eyes that heat air, tried aloe to soothe raised skin. It always works in movies. Those tales of fairies and fairy tales swoosh like magic, bend metal and make dishes dance. Exhale, shoot into skies again. Soar, white space. These things we've tried, those things we've done. My apologies, I killed the sky. Speak easy. She eats alone on park benches. She opens her muscles with switchblades. She has a fierce appetite. She's done things, rough things. Close your eyes in the dark things, slice thorns with skin things. To shake and to swing is easy. To shake and to swing to the sound of the harmonica being played by the man down the street is divine. Pigeons follow her in the dark. They know from the sound of muscles cracking that she has a fierce appetite. Her voice is raspy when she's hungry. She eats often. The moon hides. She speaks soft in daylight. Her voice is whipped air. She wears white dresses that tickle freshly shaved skin. White dresses, always white dresses. No pocket for her switchblade. She strings it around her neck. The sun hides. Pigeons follow her in the dark. They follow. They always follow. They know from the sound of muscles cracking, she has a fierce appetite. So I'll read a few from my newest manuscript, Dear Current Occupant. So I'm hoping this book will be out next year sometime. Dear Current Occupant, White House, where some family lived upstairs. Fear the caging of birds, strangled and brown. Moving here was like crossing a river, debriefings, scaling back. Clay pots clogged awkward like an ingrown hair, browning down in the sun. Staring at walls draws a crowd, like a hardened nipple, a tear-streaked thigh. No more packing things in paper, she says. She throws screams while running and looking back. Nothing will blossom in this heap. Heavy, holding, hurry, and hurt, all these H words, but never heal. Never healing at all. Finding a spot to sit still, fill my cup, empty it out, pouring steam down drains. I am the one left clawing at the cage door. Dear current occupant, apartment 301, near the low track. I started to realize there is more than this. When your house catches fire, I'll free the dogs. I'll wrap your vases in paper and stop fingers from shaking. Look you in the eye. I'll consider pink sheepskin I sleep in the holes of my pockets, my hands dug deep. No coins, no bills, but ain't no poor one here. I still got jewels in throat embedded, planted well behind the voice box, the word box, and still the birds flock round me as they should. We got things to get done, they'd say. I'll stand there, solid, my face red, hot, wet, hungry. Feed the hand, or the hand that feeds us all. It don't matter where you grow it, we'll eat. Black stones in a white fire, the flame washed out. Dear current occupant, next door neighbor, this is for your daughter. Fetal hands curled inward on the icy sheets. Your bed was so cold. The bruises could not appear. On the second day, I knew you were alive, Audrey Lord. When all else fails, build a fort. Take all the blankets, sheets, pillowcases, scarves, and curtains, and drape them over kitchen chairs, desks, and tables. Take books, the heavy ones, and place them on the corners of the sheets. You need to be strategic about the placement of everything, always strategic. Consider the center. You don't want the middle caving down. You want to be able to stand up if you need to. You want to be able to hide if you need to. You want to be able to block out the light and the sound of your breathing if you need to. This isn't the first time I've built my own place. I've got experience now. I can be summoned and trusted. If you get stuck and need advice, you'll be fine. Don't worry, just do what I did. When all else fails, build a fort. I've got one more. Dear current occupant of the last house I remember, it is so ordered. It was always about going back home. No hands around your throat, heat of the night, backyard silence. Let these children play. Now, you may never know how the pull between two sets of lips feel, or the warm air stuck in between the two. This may be so. Yes, it was only about going back to the bricks that line the path to the house with the one yellow light lit to guide them inside. To the knee socks and high-waisted pants. To the simple things, not left alone. A clothesline hung from thick rope is the only piece of sweet silence swinging north to south between two poles planted deep in the dirt. Is that good for time? Okay, so writing process. When I write, I tend to write in fragments and little pieces, so I might see a phrase or a couple of words somewhere, and I'll usually just jot those down and kind of save them for later. And then I have like 100 notebooks going at any one time, so I always have something with me, and I'll kind of look back and see what I've written and try to build on that. So I'm always building a little skeleton before I can kind of put the flesh onto the bones of that. And for poetry, for me, it always starts as a word or a phrase. If I'm trying to write fiction piece, I've always got an idea in my mind, but fiction for me is really tough to do. I was talking to Helen about this on Facebook, how I'm trying to write short stories now, but they end really quickly. So I'll write a piece of prose and it'll end after 2 paragraphs, and I'm like, is that still a short story?
Flash fiction.
Flash fiction, yes. So I mean, fiction is really tough for me, but it's something I really kind of want to get into. So my process is always fragments, always pieces here and there, and I try to patch them together. So when I read really good prose, I take notice of it. I was reading Lisa's work. She sent me some of her stuff, and some of the best prose I've read in a long time, prose poetry. So yeah. So I kind of steal from other people too. So if I find a line, I've already stolen some of her stuff. So if I find a line that I like, I also write that down and go back to it, because you can always build on that. And as long as you give people credit for, you know, taking their stuff, and I think that's fine. That's all I got. I mean, in terms of what I'm doing not writing related, I think right now everything is writing related, because I'm doing so much editing right now for Rune Magazine and for SFU Emerge. So it's just all day, every day. So I have nothing non-writing related right now, besides taking the bus to get here. Thank you.